All right, Kent Business College apprentices, welcome. Let's talk about maybe the most important P in the marketing mix: price. I mean, it's the one that actually pays the bills, right? So today, we're going to break down the strategies, the psychology, and all the tools you need to totally master it. Let's get right into it.
So, here it is, the big one. The question that probably keeps marketers staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. How much should this cost? You know, if you get this wrong, it's kind of like setting your Wi-Fi password to something so complicated that nobody can guess it, including you. You've got this amazing product, this great connection, but absolutely no one is using it.
And I'm not kidding, pricing is so much more than just a number on a tag. Think of it like a massive strategic lever. It controls your sales, it shapes how customers see your brand, and, well, it ultimately decides if your business is going to thrive or totally dive. It's a really high-stakes game.
Okay, so before we even dream of picking a number out of thin air, we've got to take a step back and ask, why? What's the actual goal here? What are you trying to do with this price? Because, and this might surprise you, the goal isn't always just make as much money as possible in every single thing you sell.
I mean, look at these objectives. Sure, you could be aiming for pure profit maximization, squeezing every last bit of profit out of a product. Or maybe your goal is totally different. Maybe you want to grab a huge chunk of market share. Just get your product into as many hands as possible. In tougher times, hey, the goal might just be to survive, just break even. And sometimes the price is all about your brand's reputation. Are you a luxury item or the best bargain in town? See, the goal, that defines the whole strategy.
All right, so you've got your goal. Now what? How do you actually land on that perfect price? Well, let's open up your essential pricing toolkit. We're going to look at 3 foundational models. And trust me, every single marketer needs to have these locked and loaded in their brain.
First up is cost plus pricing. And honestly, it's about as straightforward as it gets. You just calculate how much it costs you to make or get your product, and then you add a standard markup for your profit. Boom, done. Simple as that.
But here's the catch, and it's a big one. The major flaw here is that while it feels safe, you know your costs are covered, right? It completely ignores the most important person in the whole deal, the customer. The analogy is perfect. It's like a chef pricing a dish based only on how much the ingredients cost, without ever tasting it to see if anyone would actually want to eat it or pay for it.
And that leads us perfectly into our second model, which is value-based pricing. This one completely flips the script. Seriously. Instead of starting with your costs, you start with the customer. The price isn't about what it costs you, it's about the perceived value of what you're offering them. So with this model, you're asking a totally different question. You're asking, hey, how much time does my product save my customer? How much happier does it make them? What massive problem am I solving for them? If you can really answer that, you can price for some serious profit. But I'll warn you, this isn't guesswork. It requires real, deep market research. You've got to do your homework on this one. Okay, on to our third and final foundational tool, competitor-oriented pricing. With this one, you're not looking inward at your spreadsheets or trying to read your customer's mind. Nope, you're just looking sideways at what everyone else in your market is up to.
Just think about the petrol stations you see on the same road, right? They are constantly watching each other, tweaking their prices by a penny here or a penny there. You can decide to match your competitor, maybe you go a little lower to steal some business, or you could even go higher if you're confident your stuff is better. The only thing you have to be super careful about is getting dragged into a race to the bottom, a price war. Because in a price war, the only one who really wins is the customer, and all the businesses lose out on profit.
All right, so you've got the foundations down, solid, now let's level up. Let's talk about some advanced power plays. These are the kind of strategies you pull out of your back pocket when you're launching something new and you want to make a huge splash, like right away. Okay, check this out. On one side, you've got price skimming. The perfect example, a brand new PlayStation or iPhone. The price starts super high to skim all that profit from the die-hard fans who have to get it on day one. Then, slowly, the price comes down for everyone else. On the other side, you have the complete opposite, penetration pricing. Here, you launch with a crazy low price to get as many people to sign up as fast as possible. Think about a new streaming service trying to muscle its way into a packed market. See? 2 totally different goals, 2 totally different plays. All right, now for the really cool, high-tech stuff. Let's talk about dynamic pricing. This is where the price isn't set in stone at all. It's actually changing in real time based on things like demand, the time of day, maybe even how many items are left in stock. You've seen this with airlines and hotels forever, right? Well, now, thanks to big data and AI, huge online stores are doing it for everything.
And if you're wondering if this actually works, oh yeah. Just look at this analysis from the Boston Consulting Group. They found that retailers using this kind of AI tech can seriously boost their profits. They talk about one grocery chain that realized it was pricing some of its stuff 20 to 30% lower than it needed to be. By raising the price just a little bit, they massively boosted their profit margin, and get this, without losing customers. That right there is the power of data.
But listen, pricing isn't all just cold hard numbers and algorithms. There's also a secret ingredient, a little bit of magic, you could say. It's the thing that makes a price just feel right to a customer. And that, my friends, is all about the psychology of pricing.
Okay, quick experiment. Just look at this price, 10 pounds. Nice and simple, a round number. Now, look at this one, $9.99.
Which one feels like a better deal? I'm willing to bet that for almost all of you, that second one just feels like a bargain. Even though your logical brain is screaming, it's only a penny less. So, why does our brain do that?
Well, it's a super common trick called charm pricing. Basically, our brains are kind of lazy. We read from left to right and we get anchored on that first digit we see. So when we see $9.99, our brain just registers 9 and a bit, which feels way cheaper than 10 and a bit. It's such a tiny change on paper, but it has a massive psychological impact.
Whew, okay, we have covered a lot of ground here, from the basic models to some pretty advanced tech and even a few mind tricks. So let's bring it all home and talk about your next move, which is actually putting all this stuff into practice in your jobs. So look, if there's one thing you remember from all this, let it be this. There is no single best pricing model. It just doesn't exist. The absolute best, most effective strategies are always a blend. A really smart marketer knows they have to look at their costs to make sure they're profitable. They have to understand value to know what the customer will pay. They've got to keep one eye on the competition, and then they sprinkle in a little bit of that psychology to make the final number just irresistible.
And that leaves us with one final question. This is your homework. I want you to take this back to your workplace. Look at what your company is selling. What pricing models are they actually using right now? Can you spot them? And here's the kicker. Can you figure out why? Why did they choose that strategy? Really think about it. Because answering that question, that's when you stop being a student and start becoming a true marketing strategist. Thanks for tuning in.